Folks, I think it's pretty clear by now that 2023 is going to be very different than 2020, 2021. It's also very obvious that a lot of real estate investors are going to be losing money because they didn't pivot. They bought wrong. They're not managing this or that. But it's also obvious to me now, 22 days into the new year, that some of us are going to have an awesome year.
Mm-hmm.
I know I am. I believe Jason will as well. So let's talk about the mindset that sets us up to slog through what's going to be a difficult year for most people and just dominate, come out on top. What are we doing? How are you attacking it? Because I could see your mindset being so different than a lot of people in our network. There's a lot of people in our kind of similar networks that are letting the year get to them already.
Yes.
Right. And it's 22 days in.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah.
So talk about that.
And it's interesting. You and I talk about mindset a lot, and I'm constantly, that's something that I invest a lot of my time into, is developing what I would consider a winning mindset. And now is when times like this is when you're going to get the real ROI out of something like that. Because honestly, it can be easy to subscribe to some of that stuff when everything's going good, right? So when you have positive self-talk and you're winning in real life, it's easy. Those two things go hand in hand. But when you start to feel out of alignment with some things in your business, and your business may not be going the right way, it's much harder to keep your head screwed on straight, right? And so I think for me, I'm just doubling down on all of the work that I've done, the simple processes, the routines, the practices that I've been doing. Those are the things, guys, that got me here. And so for me, having that and doubling down on those things are going to be the things that I think are going to help us push through in 2023. And so you have to be not just dialed in mentally, but you have to surround yourself with people that also subscribe to these same thought process, because when they see you maybe slipping a little bit, right, they're going to act as an accountability group and call you out on some of the things that you say or some of the things that you're doing and keep you in line. So it's going to be a combination of not just what you're telling yourself and your self-talk every day, but the people that you're surrounding yourself with, the content that you're putting into your head. Everything has to be in alignment right now, guys. Otherwise, it's going to be easy to get off track.
Yeah, and there's a couple of things that I don't know the answer to, but we're going to find out right now. One of them is, over the last couple of years, it became very common for folks in your position to do more and more transactions, like 2022 above 21, 21 above 20. And that became something that I saw a lot of folks let their ego get wrapped around. I'm going to wild ass guess it right here, right now, that you are comfortable and know you will do less transactions in 23 than 22. Is that true? Or do you still hold out hope that you might do more?
It's not about, so for me, I do agree with that. I'm not like, okay, we need to do 20 or 30% more over what we did last year. I think we did 60 deals total last year, like right at 60. I don't need to do 80 this year. What I want to do is better deals. So
that's where I'm going. Yes.
Yeah. So for me, it's not about overall number. It's about quality of the deal. So one wrinkle is the quality of the deal. On one of our videos that we talked about earlier is adapting, right? And another thing that we're doing is we're adapting and shifting our business to unlock income and revenue from other areas of the business that we weren't really focused on before, right? So how can we squeeze more juice out of the same type of marketing that we're doing now, right? So here's an example of that, right? Talking about the agent side of the business, right? One of the last year or two, I haven't really been focused on referring out retail deals. We haven't really been focused on, like, if somebody comes in and it doesn't really fit as an investment, we've kind of just been pushing those over to the side. And in the last, I'd say, quarter, we've referred out half a dozen retail listings at a 25% referral fee, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's another $15,000 to $20,000 that we would not have captured. So that's an extra deal there that we wouldn't have done, right? So we talked about agents adapting in one of our prior videos, and I think investors need to be adapting too, right? Because there's opportunities there to make money that with things like referring out listings and other opportunities that weren't there. So I think it's going to be not just number of deals, quantity of deals, and finding revenue in other places that we weren't really focused on earlier, and leaving like no stone unturned, looking at every opportunity.
Yeah, I think that's kind of step one for me. I still think there's a lot of creators out there that are the 20% type. Hey, we did 60 deals last year. We're going to do 72 this year.
Yep.
Without appreciating If you try to do 72 deals in this market, it probably means you're going to do skinnier deals, aka worse deals, instead of better deals. And
Yeah.
in a market that's slowing down, days on market up, pickier buyers, that's a recipe for disaster. So again, I had assumed, thankfully I'm correct, that that's not, your ego's not wrapped up in 72
No,
over
no.
60.
And you have to, not beyond just the financial ramifications, guys, doing more deals is it's a stretch on your bandwidth for the company too. So you're not just sucking up money, but you're sucking up like logistics, operational resources, right? Which those two things then start to compound each other, and the business really starts to go the opposite direction that you're wanting to do. So it's not just about chasing. You have to be cognizant of what's going on, like with not just the financial side of the business, but how it stretches your team and how it stretches your resources too, because just doing more is not going to be the answer, in my opinion, right now.
Yeah, the second thing we have talked about, but I want to put it out there for the audience. The other thing that I know about 2023 and Jason Pritchard is you've tightened up what I call your buy box. You might call your area, whatever you want to call that. You got a little loose the last couple of years. That's not happening, right? You'll take those leads and you'll outsource them. You'll make money another way. You're not going to tie up a big commitment, a big project, all of those things. And again, I don't think a lot of people are doing that. I think they're like, damn it, I can't find anything in the Fresno market, for example. I'm going to go to Chowchilla, or I'm going to go to Hanford, or whatever. And that's, again, this is about getting tighter, not wider in what we're
I
going.
agree. And we've been fortunate. I think a lot of the moves that we've made, Zuber, leading up to where we're at now, puts us in a position where we're not forced to do anything from a place of desperation, right? Exactly. And I posted about this like a week or two ago on my story about just making some of the investments into our rental properties and into some of like our portfolio that pays us every single month, right? Like we're in a really good position when it comes to that. So like on the flipping side of the business, we are hurting a little bit, but our rental portfolio has never performed better than it is right now, right? So we're in this position where we have consistent regular income coming in from rentals, coming in from the agent side of the business, coming in from commissions. We're doing these other things where we have been able to say, nope, this isn't the right deal. Whereas maybe this time last year, because of what the market's doing, we would have been more aggressive. Now people are going to have to try to force those deals because they don't have money coming in from other places, right? So you have to be really, really careful with what because if you make too many of those bad decisions and you can't come back from those, it's game over, and it can turn very quickly on you guys, right?
Yeah. The other thing I know, again, because we've been talking every other week, but again, for the audience here, is you are adding margin of safety, right? Something you did over the last couple of years is you started flipping or being a part of teams flipping bigger and bigger and more expensive properties. You have said, we're not going there, right? We're staying below the median, or at least very close to that. Speak to that as well.
Yeah, I feel like right now, our ideal property is something that you can buy at or below the median, typically, especially like a first-time home buyer, right? So something that we're going to resell be in the high twos, maybe low 300s, right? There's a big buyer pool for those types of properties. There's still a shortage of those properties, frankly, believe it or not, right? Even though it feels like, and it has, inventory has gone up and we have access to more stuff. There's less buyers, so there's demand has gone down, but we still don't have a lot of houses that are nice and turnkey for people that are buying for the first time, right? So I like to go and play in that arena right now. And so we're sticking with those properties. Those are the ones that we're going to be in. We're not taking on these large, humongous, like fire damage properties, things that are going to take a year for us to complete, because nobody knows what the market's going to do in a year, right? Anybody that tells you that they know here's where rates are going to be in a year, or here's what the market's doing, it's just speculation at this point, right? So we want to mitigate as much of that risk as possible. We want projects that we can be in and out of really quickly. We want projects that are not funky houses and funky layouts. I know we've talked a couple weeks ago about some of my stuff that's sitting, and those are the projects that are sitting right now, guys. Those are the ones where it's not just a clean 3-bed, 2-bath in a nice neighborhood. The ones that are on busy streets or that have, you got to go through a bedroom to get to the bathroom type of thing. We're not going to deal with those right now. So I think we're just being a little bit more conservative, a little bit more safe. And that's what this year is going to be about for us. It's just kind of solidifying everything and and just continuing to fortify the foundation that we built over these last 8 years and wait for more opportunities and better opportunities.
Yeah. So to kind of wrap all this up, sitting here, the end of January 2023, um, I think 2023 is going to be a record year, a great year, better than 2022 for you, which was already a great year. And I don't think it's going to be a great year for lots of people. And it all boils down to your mindset and the fact that you are quick to pivot, right? You have made changes, and we've uncovered them on this channel over the last 3 or 4 months together and tried to help other people see it. And now you are set up to be more efficient, quicker. Time to check is shorter.
Yep.
You've de-risked the portfolio. You are suffering a couple of losses from the pivot, right? You're there, but you're okay with it. You have a rental portfolio that's is 100 doors now, which we talked about a couple weeks ago. So you are going into this environment with very little stress and just ready to take action, which
Guys,
is fun to see.
The ability to adapt is one of the things that I feel like is a superpower of mine. I learned this in corporate America. You probably tasted this too. It's just like it was constantly changing. The compensation plan was changing. Management structure was
every
changing.
12 months, baby.
Everything changed, right? So I learned very early on that just because things are working a certain way now doesn't mean it's always going to be like this. And I just subscribed to that thought process at an early age, and I transferred it to this business when I've seen it. And I've seen the business change multiple times in the last 8 years, right? And so for me, I've conditioned myself to think that what's going to be next, right? We're not just waiting to adapt, right? But we're trying to anticipate how we need to pivot, get out in front of it, and start doing it before we start seeing things shift. And so, we've been spending this last quarter, just kind of plugging some of those gaps and pivoting and shifting and getting ready for it. And now I feel like my team and I are in a great position, and I feel very, very excited for what's going to be happening this year. I agree. I think 2023 is going to be a great year. And it starts with talking about the mindset. You have to believe that, guys. Yeah. If you don't, this seems simple, but I'm going to say, if you don't think that from the beginning, it's not going to happen, guys, right? It is. It's just not, right? And so you have to believe that you're going to do these things that you're going to do. And then you have to put this stuff down on paper. Then you have to review those goals all the time, right? And you have to get it into your subconscious mind that these are the things that are going to happen for you. And then you do the work every single day. And it's those two things combined that eventually will get whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. That's what actually manifested.
Yeah. Amazing stuff, folks. And again, if you didn't watch one of our earlier videos, he has a website, jasonpritchard.com. Go to it. Send him a note saying thank you for all your time. Jason, have fun. Take care. Go Niners.
Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you.